talk about how I got my manufacturer, like literally on a whim of luck. So my father, my fashion consultant, and we were all in the city looking to find my finalized fabric for the white outfit. We wanted a smooth cotton, kind of similar to the last one, and we wanted something similar to the textured fabric. We ended up not finding really anything that we wanted to settle on and buy like in bulk or anything, but we always just kind of constantly went back to kind of refresh ourselves and see if that fabric was there. And we ended up one time on our way back bumping into someone because my fashion consultant and my father liked this man's coat. And this man immediate was like, oh, well, I make them and I own a store. And then they started talking about what I'm trying to do and how everything with me is supposed to work, and like they were showing my outfit and stuff, and they told him that we're looking for a manufacturer. So he basically told us he just came from a fashion expo, that we should go and we should get inspired, find, like, see if there's manufacturers there and stuff. But he personally knows a manufacturer. He works with a manufacturer in New York that does small batches, and he is willing to kind of introduce us over email. And I'm super grateful to that. That is literally how I met my manufacturer that does small batches. So if I go into large manufacturing, which is just not the case right now, I don't have the funds for that. But if I do get to go into large manufacturing, I can take this beginning and take it somewhere else with the larger amount of fabrics and be like, look, this is how we've been doing it. This is all you have to copy kind of situation. And it'll be really good. So I immediately was like, yeah, we'll take that. I gave him an email and we went to the expo. We got a bunch of sample fabrics. We met a lot of other manufacturers. And then over the weekend, we were introduced to the manufacturer that makes the man's coats. And this manufacturer immediately was like, why don't you come in for a meeting? We'll discuss what you want to do. I'll look at the product. I'll see if it's possible on my end, and we'll go from there. So my fashion consultant, my father, and we all went to the city with the outfit, the mood board. I drew more sketches. I did a more finalized sketch of my outfit. I got more details on where I wanted to go together. So when we got to the city and we met with this manufacturer, we showed them everything. I showed them the photos. I showed them what I was going for. I told them about how there's this gap in the industry and I would like to fill it. So we don't have our size guide yet. We don't have our finalized fabric yet. But I'm going to work on all of that. I'm going to ask my fan base for a size guide and all that kind of stuff. So he decided that in order for me and him to know that if we can work well together, basically, that he was going to redo the pattern to his liking. So that way he understands it, because the pattern was kind of made by a different person with a different understanding, and, you know, each person's kind of specific. So he was going to make it a pattern, one that his company or his workers will understand, but also that I can take to a pattern grader and they can understand it as well. So he'll do that, and then he was going to do the tiny finishes that the sample needed, because even though the sample was a finished product, it wasn't hemmed on the top, it wasn't hemmed on the flares, there were some details that weren't perfect, the snaps weren't lined up, and so he fixed all the details that he could. And then we ended up going back after he did all that. He ended up giving me the cutter's mark details and all of the pattern, like, finessed enough to go take it to a pattern grader. And we looked at the garment, and I loved the details he did on my piece. He did the finest details that were necessary, and of course things are going to change with the pattern for the next sample. But that is details that is going to happen later. So the next step is really finding a pattern grader and finding someone that can make the sizes and making sure that our sizes are as accurate as possible. I asked my fans to give me measurements, and I am currently putting everyone's little measurements together and figuring out where the sizes would be best, and figuring out by looking at other people's size guides if it would work with kind of somewhat along the line of what's already out there, but a woman's pattern in those smaller sizes that we do not provide. And I'm really excited because I'm hoping once I find a pattern grader, once I get the sizing solved, that we can go back, find at least sample fabric, and get the sample sizes made so I can look and see if I am on the right track. But until then, that is what's happened so far. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye!